So just about ready to get underway here at the Alberton Oval. Very exciting first intra-club match of the year. First chance for us to get a real look at the two sides, in fact the entire squad, as we build up towards round one. Umpire to bounce the ball now in the middle of this famous Alberton Oval. Underway.
That's where I'll be buried, Chris.
Me alongside you. Save some room. As Lysette comes out of the middle, winds the Brownlow medalist to Burton, and the black side straight into attack. Georgiadis out on a lead. Wasn't able to get a real run at it. Good attack on the footy. And stolen by Fredericks at halfback. Over to his captain there in Sutcliffe.
Just a nice little piece of play. Up the wing they go. Should have been paid. No, he might have got that on the half volley, and the umpire says, I'll sort it out with holding the ball. Brutal decision, but that could be.
Now, they have changed that, haven't they?
They have indeed, so that may be what's going to happen. So Tommy Jonas, the skipper.
Great attack there from Dersma. That was him that came through on that half-forward line. 50-metre penalty here as well.
Oh, so what happened there, Rocky? Did he
I think he might have moved
yeah.
on the mark, and he looks in a bit of trouble over there. He might have hurt a hip flexor.
Ah, yes.
Just not moving that well.
Not moving that well.
The captain, father last week, so he might be able to kickstart the season.
Yeah, with a goal. Tommy wouldn't have too many shots on goal, would he? So you got to make sure that they count. He'll be kicking just inside 50. A little bit of a breeze, not much today. So he'll make the distance. Let's have a look at the accuracy. And the umpire doesn't move. Oh, the skipper gets him underway.
Hey, I talked about the forward line. We found one.
There he is. Get him up there. Fantastic goal. What a start for the skipper. Brilliant. In his fourth year too. And as Rocky just mentioned, a new father once again. So congratulations. First score on the board, Tommy Jonas, of all people.
Little George Jonas. I think it's got a ring to it, Rocky, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Little King George, Prince George.
Yeah, that's right.
Gorgeous George. But I did, Xavier Dersma, that straight line footy, Tommy, that's the stuff that gets fans excited.
Yeah, and he was interrupted again last year, and from all reports he's had a super summer. So to attack the footy the way he did, he just came through. He couldn't quite complete the play, but it was impressive below his knees.
Now, the other thing Ken Hinkley shared with us just before the game is probably the half a dozen players in the white side that he said that really could be in the black side as well. So, Rocky, we'll get you to run through a little bit of that just to excite our members and our fans watching on and streaming this game. Travis spoke a chance, but there's been a whistle way off the footy as well. I think it's going to go to Powell Pepper. He's one of the boys that, of course, Ken said really could have played in the black side today. Fredericks out of the middle. I really enjoyed it when he got game time last year. Kicks towards half forward.
Courage.
No mark taken. It was courageous. Looked like Williams was out there that backed into the pack. The ball hugging the boundary line just goes out of play, and Dersman not able to keep it in play in front of the old bowling green where people have been getting in for nothing for 100 years, Timmy. Watching the footy from over there in the bowling green.
And let the
we could have
tradition
been far
continue.
more financial if those people had paid over the years. Gee whiz.
Oh, I love it.
My grandma and grandpa, two of them, as Powell Pepper gets a run at the footy, but they can't keep it in. And again, it'll be a throw in right half forward.
Yes.
You probably don't know that tradition, Rocky, do you? That used to be packed over there, bowling, because all the bowling club members would just arrive and say, we're playing bowls, but they come to watch the footy.
Just turn up.
There'd be heaps of them.
You often see them there in the summer months watching us train, or even throughout the year when no one else can get in, the bowling club members can.
Oakey picks it up, kicks it out wide into space, off the ground, trying to sock it forward. Didn't quite get hold of it, Georgiadis, but there's Mitch Mead, gives it to Dan Houston, gets it back to Motti. At the back he goes. Ryan Burton trying to stab it inside, just wide of volley winds. He couldn't get hold of it. Series of handball. They're going to try and get out through Powell Pepper. Low under the ground.
To
Sin couldn't take it. And out of bounds she goes, about 50 away from the goal.
We just saw young Burgoyne get his first touch as well. Geez, a slight lad, but again, one of the boys that Ken Hinkley told us about before the game said he's really, really doing well, showing some promise. So the throw in. Finlayson doing some ruck work, did well, quite strong in the end. Vincentini was up against him. Real star of the future. They're very excited about picking him up as Powell Pepper gets the clearing kick away. Alir overran the footy. That's a good tackle too, late on the skipper, Jonas. Very strong tackle.
It's Big
laid
Sermon,
there
I think.
by Sermon.
Yeah, he's played a few games for the Maggies last year. Big, tall, strong forward. Be doing that again, hopefully.
So,
22.
Doing the ruck work, Vicentini. Great handball to Powell Pepper, who's been very lively early. And the white side are doing well. as Lord goes along, half forward, little chip kick smothered, beautifully smothered too it was. Wiedemann was the player with the footy, couldn't really get a handle on it, couldn't get a kick away. McEntee, and he's one of the players, Kenny said, really could have played in the main side today. A little snap around the corner came from the captain in Sutcliffe, and it's offline, minor score. First score for the white side. And if you just joined us, Tommy Jonas, would you believe, kicked the first goal, came up forward, got a 50-metre penalty, kicked the first goal of the afternoon, and there's the first score for the Whites.
Just bring back into play, nice and short. The old 1-2 runner, Riley Bonner on the right. Didn't quite get to Finlayson. He managed well for a big fella on the ground, but I reckon he got a free kick for in the back. Seen just getting in the back there, comes inboard. Connor Rosie moving quickly. Good hands, Riley Bonner. They're overlapping now. Zach Butters, Ollie Wines should give, does. Motlop steadies, open goal, should finish and does. Great piece of transition play by the black team all the way down for another goal. And that finished with Steve Motlop.
Stevie Motlop put it through. That was a good transition off the half back line there. They looked to move the footy quite quickly, move it on. You've seen the short hit up from Connor Rosie, and then he flicked it on with the handball to Bonner, and a handball chain that resulted in a Motlop goal.
What about something else to excite the Port fans, Rocky? How excited was Ken Hinkley to talk about Butters? He just smiles as soon as he starts talking about him, doesn't he? And he said, you've got to realise he was no good after round 4 last year. Yeah. He was injured.
Yeah.
You know, he is that excited about Zach Butters, and I'm sure he'll be a gun midfielder, won't he, moving forward?
Yeah, he will be. He'll definitely play a lot more inside, and then also impact the scoreboard when he goes forward. But yeah, he's one of the favourite players down here at Port Adelaide. There's no doubt about that. He may have overtaken Ollie Wines as the number 1 in Ken's eyes.
As the pet?
As the pet.
Oh, you're joking. So Lysette reaches up over the top of Vicentini. Chance for the Whites out of the middle. Burgoyne coming off half back. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. No mark taken by Lord. Burne-Jones is good. Quick hands to Jonas, to Jones. What a hard unit this man is. Doesn't he excite Port members? Lysette doing well at centre wing. Finds Robbie Gray, the superstar. He plays on quickly. Short passes on, and they're using the ball beautifully. Finlayson just outside half forward, the left foot kick goes inside the 50.
Good kick.
And it is a good kick, and the black team well into attack.
Yeah, I know you blocked there, but I think it was Toddy Marshall got hold of it. He's really tight to the boundary line. It'll be a hard kick.
I think the ball movement should excite the supporters out there. That off half back again, they got back in outnumbered and then really transitioned quite fast to get the ball inside 50.
It's not an easy kick, but Todd Marshall, a highly skilled player from about 45 metres out. Hits it to the near side and it was never going to go through, so another behind. And reasonably even so far. Not a bad contest.
It's been good.
White team worked up into the breeze fairly well.
Spoke about those players before, Dits. Ken mentioned before that Power Pepper, Sin, McKenzie, Skinner, Mays, McEntee, just to mention a few that he was really excited and said they could have quite easily played in the black team.
Yeah, for sure. Marshall takes a good mark. And I think Port fans want to see a bit more of this, don't they? He's got to get involved in those pack marks. He's got the skill, he's got the courage, he's got the talent. And speaking of courage, that was great from Bassini, who went back blind with the footy and punched it out of play.
Hey, Rocky, he was a bit unlucky last year. He did that shoulder, didn't he, early on? Didn't get to play a lot of games because of it, but liked his courage, that's for sure.
Yeah, you think about the guys that got drafted in those COVID years. Their first year nearly gets wiped out, and then he does his shoulder in the second.
I reckon Mays has been given a bit of a job here too on Butters to just harass him for the afternoon and give him a taste of what it's like to be tagged the whole time. And so it looks like Mays has got a bit of a role there.
Either that or he just doesn't like him.
Okay, fair enough.
Scotty Lyson in front, but good Mark Sermon. That's the guy I was telling you about. Quickly gave off to Wilson.
Sin.
He'll be dynamite. Sin's got some toe about him. He kicks a long ball 2-on-1. That's a great effort.
Good grab.
That is a brilliant grab in the end. It was Kirk. Nearly one-handed in between two. The odds were against him, but now, did he move off? Was that Riley Bonner moving on the mark?
I think he went, you're only allowed to run behind the man on the mark 5 metres. I think he might have
penalised that.
Gone through. I'll tell you what should excite Port Adelaide fans was Sin off half back.
Yeah, quick, isn't he?
Just the ball use. He went and then he kicked to a 2-on-1, but he really put it to the advantage side of his forward.
And little Kirk took the mark and he kicks the goal too. It ended up being a gimme with the 50-metre penalty. And it seems like umpires, and we all know that they too have a pre-season.
Yeah.
And this 50-metre, moving on the mark, maybe, what would you say? Highly umpired early.
Yeah, but the players need to know that too. I reckon it's a good, already we've seen one each side. The players are going to go, right, this is going to be tough. I've got to remember when the season starts not to do this.
Yep.
I know it's annoying right now, Timmy, but it's a good lesson for the players, isn't it?
No,
we don't want to see it during the season. So if they can learn the harsh lesson now. Now, you talk about half-back, Rocky. How do we fit him in? This is the big issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think he's on the wing now. I think you'll see Houston, he's moved up there. Dersman's there, so there's a few options to go through the wing, and we know that Bergman's not playing today as well, who had a really good season last year.
So Lord goes into the ruck. Schofield came away with the footy but lost it. Free kick going to Willem Drew.
Loved his year last year, terrific.
Yeah, very, very good. Big improver, no doubt about that. Goes direct to centre half forward. Marshall territory, couldn't get a run at it. He was about 3 or 4 deep. Finlayson's been prominent. Handballs to Georgiadis. Handballs out wide looking for Marshall. Didn't really find him, but he goes in and gets the ball anyway. Did well, the young lad, and good attack on the footy and good tackle, as Timmy Ginniver said.
Showing a lot of spark. He's been quite lively in this first term. Ollie Lord going to do some ruck work. Good to see him. He looks like a couple of kilos on that body too. Carl Aim on a little chip. Might get away with it. Mead takes the mark. And well within range, of course. And it's just going to be a matter of finishing it off. And this is the day, and I can tell you from days of old, Chris, if you're in front of the Bob Quinn stand and you're, 25 metres out, and you kick that goal, well, you're guaranteed donations afterwards.
That's right.
It was an important kick, let me tell you. And he has got the donations.
Well done.
Well done, young Mead. He's got himself a goal. And nice bit of play from the stoppage, I thought, and good finish.
Very slick hands at that stoppage. I think it was Carl Amon initially that gave it to Rosie, who gave it back, and then Carl's composure just to find that short target inside 50.
So Timmy Ginniver, Tommy Rockcliffe, Chris Dittmar with you here at the Alberton Oval, the Intraclub match, all thanks to RAA. And yeah, we've seen some great ball movement already from the black side, which is the possible lineup for round one.
Yeah, well, got a couple of trials. We've got Gold Coast and then the Crows, I think, March 5th.
Yep.
Before starting the season
if they get over
COVID. Yeah, starting on March 19 against Brisbane up there at the Gabba.
All right, back in the middle. Interesting. Carl Amon into the middle. Lysette coming over the top. Lord Vicentini, actually it was, the young fella. Out of the middle, Power Pepper's been good in this first term.
Crunched.
He's put his teammate right under the pump there in Moore. But he had to get rid of it, to be fair, Power Pepper. He was under siege as well. The umpire will come in and ball it up. Lysette at the bottom of that pack. I like the keenness of Vicentini. Look at him. Raring to go, which is good. Dersma off hands, quick kick away, out of the pack. Ball goes towards centre wing. Oh, they all overrun it except Georgiades. I thought he was out of play and he was. So they'll throw it in.
You see here that it's a younger sort of inside mix here with Jackson Mead, Carl Amon and Willem Drew for the black team inside. So they're going to have to fight a bit harder, and this is where some improvements can be made this season.
Mead just overran the footy, fumbled, goes back after it, picks it up nicely. We told you before, Ken Hinckley super impressed with him so far. Will he get a gig in round one? Let's hope so. Wouldn't that be great for a former best and fairest in Darren Mead, his father? Ryan Burton kicks towards Travis Boak, finds him with a wobbly kick around the corner. Burn Jones runs to half forward, delivers to Rosie, and that's fantastic. Good vision, good ball movement. And if you move it quickly, Rocky, the defenders haven't got time, have they?
Yeah, you can see the intent, particularly off half back. They want to run and gun as quick as they can. They want to find and mark if they can, and then play off that, get a quick handball, and that was really good play. Burton, I think it was, on the left foot to find Boak, and then he just turned and looked inside straight away.
So Connor Rosie, what an excitement machine this fella is. The Port fans love him. Goes goalward, and he's nailed it. That's their fourth on the board, and they are looking very, very slick indeed. And plenty of options running through the midfield. They are rotating heavily. Probably good opportunity to say good afternoon to the Crows coaching staff and the Crows board. They'll all be spying. They'll all be watching this because they're not allowed in the Oval, Timmy. They'll be streaming us. G'day to Roo and Nixie and all the lads.
Yes. There'll be lots of keen eyes, I think, on this game, Christopher, but not just particularly those. course, the Port fans are faithful, watching it everywhere, all over the country and probably internationally. People getting up at wee hours of the morning, getting their fix.
Really interesting mix as well. You've got Travis Boak on the wing, which we haven't really seen him situate himself there, and have Amon, Drew and now Butters inside. So they're going for a few different mixes under Brent Montgomery this year.
Good leap. Vicini over the top, but ground level. It was good work by Willem Drew once again. He loves scrapping. Butters got it out. The underground handball wasn't great for Darcy Byrne-Jones, and then Powell Pepper came in. Good quick hand Sutcliffe, working it out okay. Missed handball. Jonas just goes straight through the middle of him. Missed his handball though. Plays over the top of it. Schofield trying to get it back out. And it's a little scrappy at the moment. Umpire may have to sort it out, but eventually ball comes free, goes into forward. Alir, good spoil. And that was a very good spoil, because then front and centre was Dersman. It was an easy takeaway to the wing.
Georgiades out on a good lead. A long way from half forward. He's a defensive side of centre wing. Has a couple of false starts, now delivers. Looks for Robbie Gray. Getting up in front though, Butters. Good leap for the little fella, smallest man there, but took the mark. And got up in front of Lee very nicely. Plays on, delivers high to centre half forward. Marshall territory and good body work. Oh, he's dropped it, did everything right. McKenzie comes away, takes it back in the 1-2. This is another of the players that could easily have been in the blacks today. But lining up in the wide side off hands. Butters, they'll send it back inside. Houston, haven't seen much of him yet. Front of the goal square. Good spot to be. Loose footy in the goal square, and the Whites happy to concede through for the minor score. But again, pretty good movement. Zach Butters featuring very prominently in that passage.
I think that was Zolly Lord that got a hand to it. That was a good effort. In the end, just to spoil, get that one over the line. He's definitely put some kilos on the frame.
It's really good work from Marshall. He just did everything right except take the mark in the end. He did all the body work, and then it unfortunately just didn't complete the mark.
So Trent McKenzie to bring the ball back in. Goes to the point of the square. Oh Lord, just a little push out there. That's too high. Just a little coat hanger there for Williams.
Williams is another one. He didn't go home in the off-season. He stayed around and really worked on his fitness to make sure that he could compete for an AFL spot this year.
He got a little taste, didn't he, Tommy? And I reckon that night he was that tired he went to sleep with his shoes on. He got a taste, which is important for the young players.
Yeah, I think once you get a taste, you understand how hard it is and how much work you got to do, and he understood that.
Todd Marshall underneath this one. Spoil was good, but Mead, brilliant. Crumb, little give off to Robbie Gray.
Well
was
done.
Good play. Runs hard again. Gray cleverly inside, finds Willem Drew. A little too easy, that one. So Willem Drew. What I've liked is a lot of these shots they're having within the 50. So they're hitting targets within the 50, which is good.
Just a little glimpse then of what Mead's able to do. If he can crumb like that and then deliver the ball inside 50, half forward like that's absolutely valuable.
So 45, Willem Drew kicks a goal, holding its line, or just went to the right. Just off to the right, so Willem Drew doesn't get his name in the book.
Timmy, you played plenty of footy with Daramiji. Young Mead's a very different shape, isn't he?
Absolutely. He probably more my style.
Yeah.
But very good player, and I just saw him play through the juniors at the Eagles, and then played under 18 grand final where he's clearly best on ground, and just knew that day. I thought, well, if you get into the AFL system, they train you to get you fit and all the rest of it, but his talent and his desire just stood out for me.
Yep. So throw in here in front of the big player facility at the Alberton Oval, the Alan Scott headquarters. Vicentini, Finlayson reaches over the back. Zach Butters fighting hard for it. Vicentini great at ground level. Comes out to Sin. Sin quick handball, Power Pepper. Oh, run down by Butters. How good was that? Brilliant tackle, Butters. And against a lad who's got a much bigger, stronger body. And I don't know what that was for. Did Power Pepper say something? But I didn't really see anything else happen there. Gee, they are tough on them today. Yeah. So Butters will come all the way towards the goal square now.
We've seen him do that a lot, though, Butters, doesn't he? He tackles and he gets on, he hangs on. I reckon he hangs around longer than COVID.
So Butters from the point of the square, and the black side get their 5th goal of the afternoon.
Amazingly, all singles today, Christopher.
Sharing it around, Timothy. Yep.
You speak about Butters there. You can see that his impact around the stoppages, he hits through pretty hard and aggressive and pops out the offensive side of the stoppage, and the ball bumbled that way and Power Pepper picked it up and he was able to close really quickly and make a really strong tackle.
Ollie Wines, Travis Boak and Butters, that's the way they started. Sort of been noticing, I'm trying to pick up changes. Drew changed with Boat to begin with, Butters changed with Rosie. And you're right, they're rotating through the wing as well.
Amon went through there too.
Amon went in, correct.
Yep.
I think we might have even seen Dan Houston come out of goal square then for a little bit. He's back up on the wing now, so they're certainly throwing it around and a few different looks, which is an exciting thing.
Yep.
The depth is certainly continues to grow at Port Adelaide.
Back in the middle, Lysette over the back trying to get it. Then got his own crumb. Didn't get it away from Sin. Sin was tackled. Couldn't get that out. Loose ball. Sutcliffe kicks it into a pocket on the lead. Was it Williams? Just pushed out of it to the ground. No. Kirk, in fact. Seen him already take a very good mark and goal. And just in front of the bowling green, another stoppage.
Hard to get lead-up marks on Tom Jonas at any time, but particularly when you're a young fella.
So ball up in front of the bowling green. The bowling club, Burton, came away with the foot. He was double team tackled and has given away the free kick somehow. He must have been caught holding the ball. Sin, the new exciting youngster, the left footer, drills the ball inside 50, playing behind. And it's the man in front that takes the mark, and it's
the skipper,
Tommy Jonas. So Jonas goes across goal. Short passes on Ollie Wines.
Told to play on.
Yeah, it didn't go far enough, I guess, Bonner. And that's out in the full. That's not his best effort. Many people would say best player in that terrible loss in the prelim final, Bonner. He was one that really had a crack that night. But anyway, let's move on from that. Let's not talk too much about it. And Wiedemann with the footy. He's a big, strong boy, this one.
Had some good games for the Maggies last year.
This will take his best kick. They've only got one on the board so far. This is a good kick. No, just falls short, and Lysette happy to punch it through unopposed. We're not really going to keep score this afternoon, but for those that are interested, the black team have got 5 on the board, 5 individual scores, and Kirk earlier kicked 1. Because today's not really all about the score, is it, Rocky? We want to see the talent. We want the boys, obviously, to have a real hard run and a hit out, and we want to see what sort of talent Port Adelaide have got on offer.
Yeah, it is. I think there's a combination. There'll be guys out there trying to prove themselves for round 1, and there'll be guys that are just happy to get through and have a good hit out.
Carl Amon came through well there, just trying to control the foot. He's had 3 dips at it. Everybody's getting in his way. White team eventually, just through hard work, get hold of possession, but he's brought down in a tackle by Ollie Wines. Sutcliffe couldn't get out of that one. Right near the centre circle. Won't be long left in this. I think there are 4:25s being played.
No time on.
No time on. It'll be less than a minute left. And Butters trying to get out. Can't get out of that tackle. Umpire's going to hold the ball, is he, or not? No.
Which takes me back to the days, Timmy, when, you know, with a minute to go, you had to kick a torp out into the car park.
Yeah.
Because there was no time on. And they had to go and get the ball.
Ron Alloway.
That's right.
Dug it out. Again, they're working hard by hand. This is a loose one, though. And Ollie Lord could have been taken high. Spat it out, though, and coughed it up. Ryan Burton will give it back to Ollie, to Butters. This one's not so smooth. Good hands eventually. Fantastic. There. That was good. Ollie Wines again. So Ryan Burton inside 50. A good take that by Finlayson. A lovely one-hander. I think he can definitely be a factor for Port Adelaide. Like I said, he can play many positions, but he's a very experienced player to be picking up into your lineup.
I don't know how much you know about him, Rocky, but I was led to believe that his wife is a South Australian, so they're very keen to come here. Is that right?
Yeah, keen to get back home, and I think that was more so the reason than unhappy at GWS. I think it was more for family reasons. Got a young family, wanted to get home.
Well, Jeremy comes in now, and he has a kick at goal. Does not miss. Beautiful kick. So just continues the long line of single goal kickers today. Half a dozen of them. Jonas was the first one off the rank, and then Motlop, Finlayson, Butters, Rosie and Mead all with a goal each, and Kirk for the white team's kick one as well.
So the real feature of this opening term certainly has been the black side, the stronger of the two with their ball movement. A lot of short passing, but pinpoint accuracy have really, really found their targets.
Even that last passage, I think you can see a real intent to get the ball moving, forward handballs, and they really flicked it on. So I think there was a passage of about 7 or 8 handballs before they used a kick to the final play inside 50.
Thanks to RAA, back in the middle, the intra-club match at the Alberton Oval. Vincentini's been quite impressive with his attack on the ball, and there's the siren. And a big quarter to the black jumpers here in this opening term at Alberton Oval.
Just get themselves up. I think the umpire just waiting for Kenny Hinkley to get off the ground, and they'll get play underway. So Vicini versus Big Scotty Lysat in the middle. And that bounce out of the circle will have to come back, reset. And they started like this in the first term with Wines, Boak and Butters in the middle. And a fair few rotate through the wing and in the middle. It's the time to do it. Tap went back. Now there's a free kick saying that it was a little bit too high in the rucking contest. Vicini shoots it out to Fredericks. Frederick just wide looking for Mays. Sits up okay for him. Kick inside 50. He's going to have a launch at it. Nobody quite got up. Ground level. Bokey's there. Tackled by Sutcliffe. Down to the ground they go. Just be gentle, thanks. Yes, he did. Got up. He's okay.
So ball up centre half forward for the lads in white. Boak traps it and retreats back to Jonas, who kicked the first goal of the game. The captain playing at full back.
Well, that'll be the old deliberate
Came
one.
down. Oh, gee, was too.
Knew that was coming.
Hell, that is harsh.
They love to play that one, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
So the white team able to go straight into attack.
Is it Young Sin?
Yeah, it is. The left footer. A speedster when he gets going. We saw that in the opening term. Alir, handball to Motlop, caught beautifully by Burgoyne. Handball came out. That could have been a high tackle.
McEntee, yeah.
Mays goes in there and applies the tackle. Umpire should come in and ball that up. You mentioned McEntee there, Timmy. One of the players that Ken Hinkley told us before the game really, really could have been in the Blacks here this afternoon. So it might be a chance for round one.
Yeah, you do want about 10 that should be. Don't you, for depth-wise? Yeah.
Definitely. Alir, quick clearing kick. Georgiades busy at half-back all of a sudden. Got the handball out, put his teammate right under the pump. And again, we should have a ball up. Just quickly, for those, if you've just joined us, you'll see some people in the Bobby Quinn stand. Parents and families were allowed. They were invited in this afternoon, but apart from that, it's a closed shop.
Yeah, quite a few renovations going on at the club. Of course, the precinct, as it will be known, upstairs at the footy club and downstairs being renovated, hopefully open early April. And of course, underneath the Foss Williams family stand is the AFLW being renovated for the introduction of that. And of course, Rachel Spawn getting appointed.
What a signing.
Tell you what,
Hey?
I said to her,
Big
gee,
signing.
I thought you were good looking. Now you're just dead set gorgeous.
She looks good in those colours.
Magnificent. Good
Hey?
smother off the boot. Love the 1%ers. And out she goes 50 metres away from the goal.
Tim, $5 million upgrade in the precinct, as it'll be known. We're talking about a museum. We're talking magnificent bistro upstairs overlooking the Oval. So imagine watching training or, you know, an AFLW game or a Magpies game sitting up there. It will be beautiful.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to. Kick comes down the line. Lots of players here. Tapped over the back. Cassini got hold of it. Nice little hook back into play.
Oh,
Good mark. McEntee read that better than anybody. Just dropped late. He's got, yeah, this is to advantage. Wiedemann has to sit under it, but cutting across Jonas. You can't buy experience. It's impossible. I've been to Foodland. You can't get it.
Burn Jones clears out wide. Good mark taken. Motlop. We saw young Burgoyne there, who a real player of the future as well. In fact, he applies the tackle now. Well done. And slowed up Boak and in fact turned the ball over. That's good play. And the young boys are doing well here. It ends up with Sermon. So Sermon, they get on with it quickly over the top, puts his teammate under the pump. It comes to Powell Pepper. Can he kick a goal around the body? He does. Great work in the end. Good finish. And definitely one of the players that should be lining up in round one, you would think. Sam Powell Pepper did that well.
As you touched on, it was really good pressure from Burgoyne then. He got done on the marking contest by Motlop, but he stayed involved and made a rundown tackle and forced a turnover.
Yeah, they started well, the white team. Maybe that breeze is stronger than what I thought it was. definitely been all play to the northern end. As they get reset in the middle. Looks like Josh Sin going to have a run in the centre square, which is good. Sam Pepper, who just kicked the goal, makes his way back to the middle. As players sort themselves out with a bit of chit-chat. Where are we going? What are we doing? Jackson Mead having a run in there now. Butters and Boak. Boak just sorting them out where they got to stand. And they'll get this underway. We'll have a look at the stoppage. Couldn't have been better pre-season conditions for a game, because you don't want the 38s. They're nasty. Pepper again read it well.
Good hands.
Quickly forward by Schofield. Burn-Jones turned it over.
Oh,
that's high.
Ooh.
That is high. Tom Jonas too. And that wouldn't tickle. But good courage underneath there. Moore. Smosh boy. Played at the Eagles. Good kick by Pepper. Long, hard kick at the goal. He's kicked another one. 2 in a row to Sam Pepper. He is impressing. And I'll tell you what, yeah, there must be a howler out there. It doesn't look like it, but it must be going down to the northern end.
Don't even have any flags that we can look out there, Timmy.
No, it's an old sheedy tactic, isn't it?
Take the flags away.
Take
Take
the
down the
flag
windsock, yes. But I think we can hear it in the effects mic, can't we? Rocky, he has to play round one, surely.
Yeah, I think he's had a really good summer, as Ken touched on before, and I think he got the strong feedback in the off season in his exit review, and said you got to come back if you want to play midfield. You got to go away and do the work, and he's done that and proven himself. And you can see today he's in really good nick, and you can see that it doesn't matter whether you're playing in February or in the middle of winter. Tom Jonas always makes you earn it.
Certainly does. Comments there from Tom Rockcliffe, a man who played 208 games. So back in the middle here at the Alberton Oval, Lyset goes up early. Vicentini doing a good job. He's aggressive in the ruck, no doubt about that, as Rosie gets it to Burton. Burton off half-back. They've started a bit slowly here, the boys in the black Guernseys in this second quarter. And off the boot of Motlop, it just dribbles out of play. Throw in on the right half-forward flank, between centre wing, right half-forward. So, yeah, I've enjoyed the work in the early part of this game from Vicentini. He's not getting a lot of the ball, but he's really making Lyset earn every single tap and every mark, which is what you want. Quick handball comes out and winds. Sends the black boys forward and out on a lead Marshall, who looked prominent in that first term. Like what I'm seeing from this young fella. I think Port fans would like to see him get involved a lot more in games, taking those marks at centre half forward. He's certainly done it so far. Kicks towards the pocket, no mark taken. Off hands, chance for Willem Drew. Gets the handball out, clever. Robbie Gray, how does he do it? In heavy traffic, weaved his magic, got through. Georgiades, no mark, through his fingertips and through for the minor score. No, he's been paid. Well, he has been paid.
Mark, free kick.
Probably a bit of interference up the front, and he turns around, kicks the easiest of goals, and that's the first goal in the second term.
Robbie Gray again just weaves his magic in traffic.
Incredible.
I think that's exciting. There's been a lot of noise around how good of a summer he's had. Back to his absolute best training. He hasn't missed a training session where he only used to train 2 times a week. So a really good noise about him, and he's playing a little bit closer to goal than we've seen in the past. So it's an exciting time for Port Adelaide fans.
Yep, sure is. So start of this second term, 2 goals to Pepper, and then at the other end, in the possible lineup for round one, we've just seen Georgiades kick their first goal in this second term. 4 quarters of 25 minutes with no time on. Timmy Ginniver just talked about all of the work going on in the Robert Quinn stand. We've got the AFLW new change rooms under the Foss Williams stand. And then Rocky, just 23 million, if you don't mind, being spent where we're standing right now. This will all be demolished, the Owen Scott headquarters.
Yeah, it will. It'll be a world-class facility by the time it's finished, so it's an exciting time for the footy club and the players involved.
Rosie off half-back. They get another clearance out towards centre wing. That's good work, though. Good mark. Geez, away too. Not wasting any time at all.
Lee.
And it was Lee off half-back. Great work. Jones under it. Didn't take the mark. Sockers it quickly forward. Might have sconned his own mate in Rosie there. Dersma, busy. Gets a handball over the top. Robbie Gray retreats backwards, and Port Adelaide, Port Adelaide, they're both Port Adelaide, but the black side get a little bit of time. Across half-back, Jonas swings it out wide. Needs to find the target. Does. in the end. Very accurate to aim on. Draws the player. Handballs over the top. Motlop can usually do something clever. He draws the player as well. Handballs back to Amon, who's on his natural left side, doing well towards half-forward jig. What a pickup that was. Finlayson, if you don't mind, that was magnificent. And Drew around the arc, finds Rosie, loose players everywhere. How good was that from Finlayson, Rocky?
Amazing, below his knees. I think that's a real strength of his, particularly in the front half. We know he's an impact player. He's not going to be the player that has mid to high 20 possessions, but when he gets his chance, he definitely delivers. And below the knees then, it was fantastic. Gave the handball on the up, and then you've seen Rosie get involved again. He got it at half back, who almost started the play, and then ends up delivering the ball inside 50 to Georgiades.
Well, this is the boy that was the real excitement machine last year. Burst onto the scene for Port Adelaide, can potentially take mark of the year every week, and knows how to kick a goal as well. And into a stiff breeze, he's done it here, and they get their second of the term. So the one thing that excites Port Adelaide members is when Rosie and Gray and Georgiades, Marshall, all of these young boys are getting their hands on the footy. It's just good to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen Jones as well get involved there at half back. He made that kick, and then he attacked the player, made a huge tackle and forced a turnover. So some really positive signs, not only from the older players, but from the younger players as well. So we spoke about needing probably 10 depth players in that white team. I think we've certainly seen that today. Power Pepper and etc. But they've also got a couple of injuries as well that we know they'll get back. We'll get Dixon and Bergman, who are just sitting on the sidelines at the moment.
Yeah. Orazio Fantasia had the operation yesterday. Apparently it will be about 8 weeks, but it all went well according to reports.
So back in the middle, and this is where we see Finlayson's flexibility. Going into the middle to ruck. Didn't get much of a bounce, but he took the ball out as the rover. Brilliant kick inside 50. Should hit the target, but is there a free kick for hanging on? I think there is. Might be Skinner getting that. Yeah. Loved his season last year at South Adelaide. Was taking some terrific marks in the back play. And got himself drafted because of it.
Second chance for him. We know he's had a fair bit of bad luck over his career. 3 or 4 knee reconstructions now, so hopefully he gets a really good run at it now.
Finlayson again in the action. Like what I've seen of him so far. Moore digging the football out. Sutcliffe took it off him. Loose handball though. Yep, well done, well handled. Schofield got it up the road. And out of bounds she goes, right in front of the RAA commentary box with Tim Geneva, Chris Dittmar and Tom Rockliff.
Throw in. Playing in front, Vicentini. Will and Drew, unable to pick it up. Good strength in the pack. Handball came out towards Powell Pepper, just missed the target. Came from Schofield.
Vicentini's been very impressive in the first that we've seen of him. I think young ruckman, they take a couple of years, but he's certainly holding his own out there today against Lysette.
I said earlier, look, he's not getting many kicks and handballs, but he's having a real crack. And this time it's Finlayson against him, but he's making them earn it. That's what he's got to do for a year or two, and just grow as a ruckman. As Sutcliffe sends the white team forward, handball didn't find the target, went out of play.
They're going to have half forward. Some good competition as well. Sam Hayes is another one that's not playing today, who moves forward.
So just on the cusp of 50. Passini got pushed in the back, and I reckon he'll get a free kick for it. He's going to take that. Looking to give off.
So him kick inside 50.
So Vicentini.
Good contest too. Forcing that one towards the boundary line. Won't go over. Eventually it does. Sort themselves out.
All right, throw in deep into attack for the Whites, who started this quarter pretty well. Powell Pepper with 2 early goals, got them off and running very, very nicely. Can they convert here again? So, and
who's hanging on to
taken out of the ruck, yeah, indeed. You never know with these, but Lord has given away the free kick.
Yeah, and a 50.
And a 50 for kicking the ball away, I think. So Finlayson. How big would Finlayson be, Rocky? And I'm because he's
196.
But he's not bulky, is he either, for a ruckman? So good effort for him. Although I suppose normally you got Charlie Dixon in that sort of role once the ball goes forward, so he'd be around the place as well. But for today, it's Finlayson having to do the work. Finds Jones out wide on centre wing, who runs up from half-back, goes very, very short. Bonner, normally a beautiful left-foot kick, sends this one out wide, and it is spot on. It is a nice kick. Well done. Gee, I thought Motlop did very well also. He was under a ton of pressure and took a good mark just inside 50. This will be a tough kick, though. You can hear that wind howling in our effects mic. Will not be easy, but very clever player. He gives off instead. Probably a good option. Goes to centre half forward. No mark. Off hands now. Metre chance. Overran the footy. And Burgoyne will come away with it. Handballs out towards half-back for the white side. Sinner chance. Goes in hard. Oh, well done. Although, in the end, beautifully tackled. Taken the ground heavily by Houston it was. And the black team still trying to work it forward, but a loose kick will dribble out of play right half forward.
Brocky, a lot of guys in their first year, because they're so light, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You can see that their skill level and that's there, but they just get thrown around by
ragdolled.
They need a couple of summers in the gym to learn how to compose themselves when the pressure's on.
You get a nasty Tommy Jonas or something tackling you.
That's right.
They tackle for keeps. Cam Sutcliffe, little kick along the boundary line. Just trying to trap it. Wiedemann did okay. Forcing the ball back inside. Lots of players around this one. There's centre wing on the outer side. Well, that's the member side, isn't it? We're on the outer side. Out of bounds she goes. They're going to throw it in, or no, paid a free kick for deliberate. So DBJ gets the free kick. Comes in. Board so short. Yeah, play on. I agree with the umpire. And Dan Houston not getting the reward there, but the kick was extremely short. That'll be a ball up member side on the wing from the Williams family stand. Dropping it down. Butter's good hands, clean.
Great chase.
Good chase. That's Sin, I reckon. And Carl Amon just took a little long to find a target inside. Maybe they weren't moving, and Josh Sin with his speed able to track him down. Sin goes down the line. Wiedemann, good contest, ground level. Wilson, it'll be exciting for the Magpies, don't worry about that. He's done a full circle, Anthony Wilson. Started at the Maggies as a junior. Went over to Nord and played some good football there and premierships. And now he's back. So again, I think that's Connor Rosie moving on the mark at 50 has been very costly, but Sam Powell-Pepper playing very well in this trial game. He's already kicked two
in this quarter.
And he might be lining up for number 3. So the SPP looking fit, which is good. If you're not looking fit at the end of pre-season, something wrong. But no, Sam, he kicks that goal. The umpire likes it. So I'll tell you what, I've always liked him as a set shot.
Well,
very rarely lets you down.
Yeah, he's a very good goal kicker, yeah.
So he's kicked 3 now, all in this term, and he's been really active in reading the football off our hands, no matter who's winning the tap.
It's really exciting. There's going to be lots of pressure on for spots leading into round 1 and the pre-season games.
Well, he's going to make sure he's going. I want to be picked.
He's in. Don't worry about that. I'm starting to pencil Sin in.
Yeah, he's
now
he's
where he gets in, I don't know. Maybe he starts on the bench, but at least I think he might get a chance.
Yeah, I think so. He's been quite impressive today, and he's playing in the non-dominant team, which is always a challenge, particularly for a younger guy coming into the system to play against the likes of Boak, Wines, Butters on the opposition, and he's if not matched him and starting to perform really well. The longer the game goes, the more involved he gets.
So Lysette, Vicentini go at it again. Vicentini up way too early. Butters will come out of the middle. Big left foot kick. In fact, Amon, which is a natural left foot kick. Marshall, good mark. Mentioned earlier, this is what Port fans want to see. If he can really present at centre half forward, gee, it'll be a find for Port Adelaide. He's just been finding his way for a couple of years, but today we've seen some very solid grabs at half forward.
Yeah, he has. He's been good. The Georgiadis also lining up for his third of the quarter. He passes off back to Marshall.
Nicely done. I was just thinking about you, Chris. You were a good Catholic boy, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
There's a
not that good, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were one. yeah. Perhaps. There's a.
Where's this going?
There's a lot of Port Adelaide groups around, and there's a True Believers group, right. And they got nicknames for all the players, and they're calling young Sin, which you did a few of. They're calling him Confession. Which you may need to visit. Yeah, Marshall, what a magnificent kick.
Straight through the middle. Very tough today with that breeze, but a great kick from Marshall. In fact, I went to confession, Timmy, recently, and they said, say 2 Hail Marys. I said, I only know one.
Oh, he's doing gags. He's here till Tuesday. Oh, fantastic.
So, another goal to the team wearing black this afternoon. They are the possible lineup for round 1, and they've been pretty dominant, but good effort in this term, led by Sam Powell-Pepper from the white team, as well to claw back a couple. And he's kicked 3 in this term alone.
We've seen this a little bit as well. You've got Butters coming out of the goal square now. Wines has spent time there in this quarter coming out of the goal square from the centre bounce Boak. So I think you'll see that the midfielders, because they've got so much depth, we've got Ryan Burton in there, which we've never seen, I don't think, in all his time at Port Adelaide. So they're trying a few things through there today.
Well, that's what trial games are for. Scotty Lysette dropping it down. Ollie Wines, we've seen that a few times. Now there's a free kick. I reckon Sam Mays might be getting it. Pushed out of the way illegally.
Another one who came in last year, and when he had to impact, he really impacted in games.
Just a terrific guy. Sam Mays just going to kick this one long, inside 50. Outnumbered here. The Port defence will love this one. Smashing it at the boundary. Anthony Wilson, good underneath his knees. Hooks it around looking for Sermon. Sermon in front, but Alir worried him out of it. Getting back onto it, and a good tackle by Tom Cleary. Just making sure that one didn't get out and get into a dangerous spot. Thrown up. Tap, aim on. And the umpire said, holding the ball.
Throw. Yep.
Throw.
Mays.
So Sam Mays in the right forward pocket. This is a really tough angle. Tight to the boundary line. Will he look inside? It's crowded, so he might go for the old check side. Or left. He went left.
Oh,
and that's a magnificent kick.
Gee, that's a good
Sam Mays, what a finish. That's what I loved about him too, Tommy, when he was either sub or coming in. He could kick a goal, and he's just shown how skillful he is with that magnificent left foot snap.
Yeah, beautiful. Every time he came in, we said that he had an impact, and he generally came in as a sort of half forward when he got subbed into the game. I think it was the Sydney game where he had that impact and kicked maybe 1 or 2 goals and pretty much won the game for him, which was really important to the top 4 aspirations at the end. So you know what you're going to get from him, and he certainly adds more depth to the Port Adelaide list.
Yeah, he didn't let them down at all last year. Player we saw in that passage too, Tom Cleary, I thought the unluckiest player of last year. Didn't really do a lot wrong. Yeah, and then of course Mackenzie came in and made it his own, and you sort of thought, gee, Cleary's done nothing wrong here, but he just couldn't get his way back in, could he?
No, that's right. There's certainly pressure on for spots, and you can see he's in that team today. I think Mackenzie's had a little bit of an interrupted pre-season, so there's no doubt that they'll be fighting again for that position.
Thanks to RAA, we're at the Alberton Oval, back in the middle. And coming away, Powell-Pepper, who's been quite magnificent so far this afternoon. Quickly, Schofield out of the middle, kicks towards half forward, or Jonas just shoved his opponent in the back as Bonner tries to get the ball towards the boundary line. The Whites keep it alive. In fact, it was Cheeseman. I said Schofield. Cheeseman kicked the ball forward, did well, and sent the Whites right into attack.
Sam Powell-Pepper again reading off hands, Tommy, in the middle.
Yeah, again, really clean and was able to find his hands free and get the handball away.
Lysette, front position. Alir a chance. Being chased by Lord. Handball up against the boundary. Ollie Wines. Quick kick away. Travis Spoke still looks like a fit young player. He really does. Lysette picks it up, the big man. Clears it out of that defensive area. Robbie Gray pushes about 3 blokes under the footy. Didn't take the mark. Finlayson, good handball on the up, and Motlop hugs the boundary. Too close to it. Taken out of play by Burgoyne, and they'll throw it in.
He's just having a discussion with the boundary ump. Just saying, come on.
We know they're going to make some changes at half time. It'll be good to see a Finlayson on a Jonas or someone like that.
Yeah, good point.
The best forwards go against the best backs or something like that to see how they measure up.
23 and a half played. Only 90 seconds left then in this second term as the ball gets fed out to Amon from Burton. He goes into 50. Oh, Todd Marshall again has looked really good early. Nice short pass just to square it up. And T-Boke, 45, dead in front. You like seeing that, don't you?
That was good.
Everything's been clean today from Todd.
Yeah.
Overhead, really liked it.
It's been really impressive in front of goals from both teams in this quarter. I think they've kicked, 7 goals straight, I think, for the quarter. I don't think there's been a behind kicked.
Correct way. Travis Boak, dead in front. He'd like to finish this. Always good to get a goal as a midfielder. It's a nice kick.
Fading.
But fading to the right. So that blemish, you cursed him.
I know.
It's a commentator's curse, Tom.
always gonna
You'll have to
happen,
learn that
wasn't
in the commentary box. You can curse people, can't you,
Oh,
Christopher?
for life.
I'll learn to curse the opposition when Port Adelaide are playing.
That's the way. Oh, no, all you got to do is say, "Oh, they're normally a very good kick for goal." That's all you got to say, and then.
So a bit of indecision for the white team in defence. Eventually a kick forward. Meant for Visentini, but he wasn't able to mark it. And they can't keep it in play again. And we are right on siren time for half-time. Very good first half of footy from both sides. We've seen some great skills on display, great passages of play that would excite Port members watching on right around the world in this streaming. Fredericks, and there it is. It is half-time. And we said we're not really focusing on the score today. It's about seeing the individuals, seeing who's playing well. But, Rocky, we can get an indication of what's happened, can't we?
The Blacks were, I think they've kicked around 9 goals, 4 around that.
Right.
To the white team, 5 goals, 2.
Well, there you go. We might as well talk about the score because the Whites haven't disgraced themselves at all, have
Been
they?
fantastic.
They had a really good second quarter then, and it was led by Sam Powell-Pepper. He kicked 3 in that quarter, Sam May, so it was a super second quarter from the white team.
Yeah,
Great to see Westy here, yeah. So very impressive crew.
Paul Stewart down here.
Yeah, if you're joining us for the first time, we have mentioned a couple of times, but you might be wondering why there are people in the stand. But in the Robbie Quinn stand, friends and family, parents and family were invited to come along this afternoon. So they're the people joining us here at the Alberton Oval.
Second half begins. I said Bassini in the middle. Schofield tackled well by Butters, and it'll be another stoppage. So we're not keeping score, but just for those playing at home, it was 9-4 to 5-2 at half time. Black v White. And Tom Rockcliffe will let us know there's been a few changes. We'll get to those in a minute for both sides. High ball, and it's Connor Rosie underneath it. Rolls around onto the right, looks into the pocket. Robbie Gray reading this well, but good defensive work. Bassini, was it? And Cleary, great work. And the swap around the body was, I think that was Houston. Had a pop at goal. It's a behind. So first score, second half, is a behind to the Blacks.
Rocky, you tell us about those changes after half time.
Yeah, we've seen a few changes. So Sin, McEntee, Sam Powell-Pepper and Trent McKenzie have switched from the white team to the black team, and going the other way was Stephen Motlop, Tom Cleary, Jackson Mead and Dersma.
Oh, Vincentini gets into it. Umpire didn't pay the mark. It might have come off his teammates' hands. Alier working through half forward. Handball out to Robbie Gray. This man is the cleverest one in the AFL, but he goes short and finds Rosie. It's in good hands here.
Yeah, he probably had every right to have a crack, but
Yep.
unselfish.
And a bit breezy out there. It's a little bit tricky. So Connor Rosie from the right forward pocket.
Got the one he scored in the first quarter.
I reckon there's been a bit of talk about him being under a cloud for the last season or two as well. Bit of a mystery about, has he carried an injury? As we know, he burst onto the scene with just absolute brilliance, and then for a year or two as he hits the post, has just fallen out of the game a little bit by his standards. So I reckon everyone at Alberton looking forward to seeing a huge year from him. And I mentioned this fellow before half-time, Tom Cleary. I thought the unluckiest player in the side last year. Broke his jaw, not his own fault, and then just couldn't work his way back into the side. I really hope he gets plenty of game time this year as he goes very short to Mays.
Tried to get the 1-2. Mays now looking for Schofield, but that's awkward. Ball, Pokey intercepted, gave it to Houston. Houston goes back inboard. Lockie Jones. So Lockie, just unfortunate before the start of last year, did a hamstring and then troubled him for most of the year. Good kick and great lead. Finlayson, a terrific mark.
I think you'd be excited with what you've seen from Finlayson today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Below his feet,
Yeah.
up in the air as well, and then he pinch hits in the ruck. So when Dixon comes back, he'll get the second or third defender. So it's exciting times for Port Adelaide.
So that one just took a bit of wind out of him, so he's taken a little bit of time to kick this ball, but he'll be kicking from about 45 metres out. Around about the 45-degree angle. But for a left footer, should swing back, but he's put that about too far to the front, and that'll be crunched over the line for another behind. A rushed one for the second half starting. 3 behinds have been scored so far, and definitely been the scoring end as the northern end.
Yep, fair breeze blowing here at the Alberton Oval. Cleary brings the ball back into play, goes short, Mays again. This time he gives back to Cleary in the 1-2, and he runs hard, brings it up the ground, good mark. Taken there by Neild. Chips one over the top, centre wing on the outer side. As the white team inch their way forward, Williams, little left foot kick towards the middle of the ground. Didn't quite find the target, but Mays did well. Read it nicely, got it on the bounce, delivers all the way forward. That's in the back, surely. Lord has to get the mark. Just tell us a little about a bit about his form, his off-season. He is a big lump of a boy, Rocky.
Yeah, another one. As we know that the talls generally take a little bit longer than the smalls when they get drafted, and Ollie Lord's certainly a tall, and he's got a bit of mongrel in him, so I think once he starts to fill out, we'll see the best of him, and he'll take a couple of years, but very impressive. He goes really well about his business, strong above his head, and he's also pinch hits in the ruck as well, so another one who's got enormous and exciting talent.
Timmy, that's what we want, mongrel.
Oh, yeah.
In a big bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key word.
Nothing better, is there?
So let's see if he can slot this one through.
I can remember, opposition supporters saying, "You filthy, wharfy mongrel." It was a badge of honour.
And they're talking to your mum. As he misses this one, minor score. Early days in this third term at the Alberton Oval Intraclub match. A big thank you to RAA for making this streaming possible right around the world. Burton at halfback. Handballs off Mackenzie, who played the first half in the white team. Swap Guernseys with this man, Cleary, who sees the ball safely out of play, centre wing.
He's just that unbelievable defender who just does everything right.
Yeah, I think you look at across the board, and the defence is one of the really strong points, probably the most experienced in the team, and it's been sound now for a couple of years.
I'm with you there. Big tick of the box. So Dan Houston, a bit of time on ball, crashing through. Didn't mind that either. What he went about that was Tommy Corcoran. Another Tommy, Jonas. Just missed the target, but aim on there to lend a hand. Bonner hot. Houston again switches out wide. So lots of handballs, as Tom Rockcliffe mentioned, that perhaps they're going to do a bit of that to get themselves free, but I reckon the white team did well to lock them in on that occasion. Gee, was that just the distance? Touch play on for mine. Another one inboard on the 45 finds Amon. So they're patient with the ball movement, and now they get that overlapping run, but that wasn't the one, I wouldn't have thought. Really set him up badly there. Travis Boak tackles well. Trying to farm it out. Just cutting back Cam Sutcliffe. Sermon, nice little give. Ollie Lord pops it over the top. Is it going to sit up nicely? Not really. Difficult stuff. Ollie comes back and backs up, and has he got a goal? I reckon he has. I reckon he earned that too, because he did all the hard work. And Ollie Lord gets his first goal of the game, and the first one goes to the white team.
Rocky, can I ask you, is this absolutely deliberate, or is it because it's the first hit out of the year and teams overuse the ball, everyone wants to touch it, but are we seeing that you must deliberately find a real short pass pinpoint instead of just going long?
Yeah,
because we're not seeing any long kicks, are we?
I think if you can control the ball for a bit longer, it's dependent on what the opposition gives you, and today you're probably looking to force the issue a little bit more, but as the season starts to roll around, you might have to go a little bit longer to those contests. As we've seen in the past, we've been really successful off that long ball down the line, and then you get good numbers there and play off it. But you can see the intent to use the hands off half back here. They want to speed it up, which I'm sure the forwards in front of the ball would be licking their lips, because if you get that, you get the overlap run and you get the one-on-one inside 50. Yeah,
good explanation. Vizentini into the ruck, reaches over the top, did well, but it goes down to Boak. Boak handballs out to Wines. Wines, what a good combination that is. Sin, who was very good in the first half.
Time, hasn't he?
Look at this. He's quick and he delivers the ball beautifully like that. Houston, they play on straight away. Running into trouble though. Well done the white team. Good pressure. Motlop swoops on it. Pounces, has a bounce. Can have another one, and he does. All the way through the middle. Goes out wide. Oh, he sets his teammate up badly, and it allows Mackenzie to come through and take the mark at a half-back.
Yeah, I like Turner's work. The white team in the middle there, he was the one that turned it over, but yeah, that didn't come off the way it should have.
Sin's got a lovely left leg, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, and just the poise and the timing, that's what I liked.
I'm going to call it, he'll play.
Yeah,
I call it.
Well,
he's in the round one side.
Kenny's got a reputation of playing the kids, hasn't he?
Yeah,
First
that's
up,
right.
he does like it. So
Look at this kick.
that's a great kick by Jones. Just delivered it beautifully.
That's the one.
Hit McIntyre, who hit Lysette, who hits Robbie Gray. That kick broke it up, Tommy.
Yeah, that's the one. If you can get that long 45 that opens the whole field up, then the forwards can do the work on their opposition defender and just find that space and hit up, and we see it then perfectly.
So R. Gray, his set shots have been very impressive.
Kicked many match winners for Port Adelaide.
The old money man. Let's have a look at this kick. Fading to the right. You know why? Because it didn't count.
Miss him now.
Don't use it.
Miss now, Robbie. That's it.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Save
Why
the good
waste
ones.
them?
Save the good ones. I never hit a bucket of balls before I play golf, Timmy.
That's a good point.
Save all the good ones for out there.
Well,
Did you hit the shuttlecock?
Thank you. And, of course, Robbie and I should be mentioned in the same breath. Yes, as the ball comes out. Ball comes out, and Burgoyne has taken it to half-back. How exciting is this? We're seeing young Mead out here today and Burgoyne. For Port Adelaide members, they'd be loving every bit of this.
it's always the great romance, isn't it?
Yep, certainly is.
Schofield
The long
as
kick,
well.
Vincentini, yes, Schofield, correct. Premiership player, his dad. Kicking around the corner, Lee. Burn-Jones. Had to wait for the bounce.
Oh,
good
good
interception.
intercept.
Well played.
Weed.
Read it beautifully, Wiedemann. What a famous name that is in South Australia. Vincentini.
Should have
Under
played a
pressure.
Port.
Gets it over to Sutcliffe. Kneeled. Caught up in a big tackle. And the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Spoke about it with Wayne Wiedemann many a time. I said, you're more Port Adelaide. Let's face it. Come on.
So Lysette front position brings it down. Mays read it beautifully. He's played all right, Mays, today in the white team. Kicks towards Motlop. Good pick up. Gets
clever.
around Mackenzie. No, Mackenzie grabs him. Well played. Handball tried to get to Lord, but good defensive work from the team in black, and they see it out of play in the left forward pocket.
Sometimes that's when you know your teammate, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He knew that he was going to fake it and
Shimmy.
try and go. And Trent's actually quite explosive off the 2 or 3 steps and close that gap really fast.
So thrown in the pocket. Lysette experienced, wanted to keep front spot. Cam Sutcliffe read it well though. Couldn't get out of that. It's in front of the white goal. Will be thrown in. They're the only ones that have scored a goal this term. Black team 3 behinds. May even be 4 now. With Robbie's.
Pau Pepper, who swapped teams, got that clearance.
Which is good. Taken by Marshall. Is he going to be taken high? No, it's going to be thrown in.
Just copped a little bit of an ear massage as well from Tommy Cleary. Throw in. Beats both ruckman, goes over the back. Lysette in back after it. Houston comes away. Sin, very impressive. Handballs towards the middle, didn't find Bonner. The white team have claimed the ball in the middle, but they lose it again. Bonner comes through. Handball didn't find his teammate. Vicentini gets the ball. Quick clearing kick through the middle. Meant for Neild. He couldn't get a real run at it. Alir. We know he reads the ball beautifully. This time, Wilson beat him to it with that beautiful pace. Comes out wide. Wiedemann, the weed. Gets around Amon and then delivers towards the goal square. Up high. Motlop. Great mark. Plays on and kicks a goal. And you sort of you get the feeling he's saying, don't put me in the white team. I was in the black team in the first half. What am I doing here? And gee, that was good. That was explosive. Great goal. They're doing well, the white team. They really are. And he's got 2 for the afternoon.
He's got 2. He got up high over Darcy Burn-Jones then and took a really strong mark. So another one who's going to have some pressure on for a position. There's no doubt about that. You look at across the board, there's some really good half forwards and midfielders, and they're all getting thrown around today. And I think Robbie Gray spent a little bit of time in the midfield just then for the first time. We've seen Ryan Burton go through there, so there's no doubt there's going to be some pressure on for spots, and Motlop's had a good game today.
Not too many on the sidelines, Tom, that could have played today.
No, there was. We spoke about a couple before. Dixon's obviously the notable one.
Fantasia.
We've had a few operations.
Trent Dumont.
Hayes isn't out there. Miles Bergman. Farrell's coming back as well.
Bergman's in the side, isn't
Jackson.
he? When you look at last year, Bergman has to be in that side.
Yeah, he played very well. Finn Layson, that's a really good tap down to Willem Drew. Like his work so far on the ruck. Lee tackled by McEntee, spilt free. Ollie Wines and Sam Palpepper combined. Good smother by Martin Frederick. Over the line she goes. That was well played. Love the 1%ers.
I think the good thing that we're talking about is there's probably 35 players that could easily play in that round 1 team. And if you want to go where we want to go as a footy club and win a premiership, then you've got to have those sort of players that can play.
60 away from the white goal, thrown in. Finlayson again, I'm really liking his work. He's a thinking man's player. Butters, that's just fantastic stuff. That clears it again. Finlayson, look at this kick coming out. Oh, magnificent on the advantage side of Sin, who just pops it back inside. And Sam Palpepper, who's having a BOG performance, kicked 3 goals in the second term for the white team, has now gone into the black team and will be kicking from dead in front, about 45 out.
It's the best that number 11's jumper's moved in about 3 or 4 years, isn't it?
I'd noticed that. I was, yeah, amazing. He's getting just about as much of the footy as number 11 used to. Sam Palpepper. No, he's missed this one quite significantly, so another behind to the white team. But they are, sorry, the black team this time. Sam had swapped over at half-time. Yeah, maybe you've put that into the Guernsey, mate. Plenty of footy. Kick nearly turned over here. Todd Marshall, who's been good today. Good smother. Just trying to see inside who performed. That was Skinner. Goes back to Skinner. Handball coming out. They'll eventually get a kick to it. That was Mead. Lee underneath this. Good courage by all players shown there. Love the contest. That was brilliant. All players committed there, Tom?
Yeah, they were. You love to see it, particularly in February. And I think that just goes to show how much competition is on for spots at the moment.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. There is so much talent out here. The throw-in, Vicentini, front position, did well. Wines, though, got in front of Mead. Handball, Amon was quick to burn Jones across centre half forward. Palpepper, oh, he's taken a strong mark. That was good. Over to Sin. Sin, can he finish it off? No, it falls short. Loose ball in front of goal. Cleary hassling the forward line in Georgiades. Coming away, Passini, tried to find Frederick. Good work again, Sin. Sin's been so impressive, he really has. The umpire should ball this up. No, letting it go. The handball comes out, picking it up. McEntee. Then Marshall, and the handball missed the target. Meant for Travis Boak, goes out of play.
Those two in that passage have been two of the better players today, Sam Palpepper and Sin.
Good to see. The precinct at Alberton being renovated as we speak. It's going to be fantastic when it's finished. Early April, the prediction. And of course, underneath the Williams family stand, that'll be the home of the AFLW. Getting a nice facelift. Probably look a bit better than when I debuted. Wonder if they'll keep the bath. Just for old time's sake, I doubt it.
Cheers, I hope they give it a good clean.
Driven into the forward 50. Tommy Cleary fills the gap beautifully, takes a good mark overhead, and then just switches play to Passini. Schofield leads up for him. Oh, kicked it into the man on the mark. Georgiades, good defensive work. Forward coach will like that, and will be thrown in right forward pocket.
Thanks to RAA for making all of this possible here, the live streaming this afternoon. Vicentini in front, got the tap down. Willem Drew, the tackler. And the umpire will ball it up. It's only about 25, 30 metres out from the goal that the black team are kicking to in this third term. Lee, real busy in this term. Lost the footy though. Aim on. We see this so often, that long left foot kick from the arc. Oh, Georgiades, great body work, but Cleary was good. Equal to the task and able to defend the minor score. Brings it in quickly, very, very short. This is Mead, son of Darren Mead, former best and fairest here at the Power. Goes very short, then runs hard. Wants to take it in the 1-2 and does. Mead delivers towards halfback, and that's a good kick.
Yeah, well done.
Finds Fredericks.
He's backed it up again.
You love to see the 1-2-3.
He's got it.
Stat up.
Stat up. from the man who knows.
Oh, yeah.
Nicknamed the pig. Oink, oink. I used to love that. Be a pig, be a pig. European vacation. Yeah, you just give him a little push afterwards, Zach, and Taj Schofield will take the resulting 50 right up to half forward.
We spoke about it before, but we know how hot the umpires are, and we've probably seen 3 or 4, if not 5, 50-metre penalties away. So you don't want to see them creeping into your habits this early on in the season.
Very short to Motlop. He's trying to say, get out of the corridor, boys. He's looking for something, nothing moving. So he's going to stretch it out wide, go back to Tommy Cleary, and they'll probably try and get over the other side of the ground. He comes back, though, to Piscini. Not a lot of movement up in that forward line, Tom.
I think Blacks have got back and defended really well here, and hit the 45 though. Mead again, starting to find plenty of the footy.
Certainly is. He is a stat getter. He goes right out wide. Lee comes back inboard. It's just racking it up. Mead goes short, but well
done.
Chopped off by Ollie Wines. Terrific anticipation.
So now the black team work it short. Bonner to Burne-Jones on the 50-metre defensive arc. Burne-Jones into the leadership group this year. Amon, what about his year last year? Some people thought could have been All-Australian. He was close. There's no doubt about that. Not his best kick this time, and Motlop takes the mark. They get on with it quickly. Williams can chip over the top. Well done, Bonner. Got a finger to it. Williams takes it back, and then a wobbler of a kick into this breeze. Not his best effort, and it dribbles out of play in the right forward pocket. And they've called it deliberate. Alir. No, what's happened?
That is strange.
Just getting back to Amon, he certainly had a really good year last year. We've seen him start to have an impact inside the centre square. He started going a few more centre bounces, and if he can build on that again, I think he'll definitely be All-Australian this year.
So Alir does some hard running and delivers. Talking about great years, what about his for Port Adelaide? Was quite spectacular. He really was, but this kick ill-directed. Chance for the Whites to go forward again.
Yeah, Lee read that well. Took the mark at her on the wing.
It's just
like he's playing half-back.
Brick wall down there, isn't he? He just marks everything that comes his way, Alir.
Good contest there and punched out of bounds. At what stage, Tom, do you, as a senior player, think, I've had enough of this internal trial?
When you wake up in the morning.
It is the worst game of the year, isn't it?
It is. It's a little bit like dancing with your sister.
Yeah.
As you get a little bit older,
yeah.
as you start to...
You can think of better things.
When you first come into the system, you start...
You're excited, aren't you?
Yeah, you want to play them and prove yourself to the boys, because it's your first real opportunity. You play so much match play at training. This is your real exposure, and it's just a shame that you can't have all the Port Adelaide faithful here that do it so well with the family day and etc. So hopefully this is the last year where we don't have anyone in the stands, and hopefully we can get back to that next year.
That'll be awesome. I know the people love it. Of course, you guys very good to hang around for hours on end signing autographs afterwards, which was always a good part of the day for the kids and some adults.
Oh, it's fantastic to see all the faithful down here and just interact, and it's their first real opportunity to see the new guys that have come to the club and see how their summer's gone, see if there's any tinkering with the game plan or anything like that.
Correct, Wade. As the black team just keep possession at the moment. They've had about 5 kicks and just kept in the same zone. Hard to get out of here. With that Lockie Jones kick that we saw earlier in the game, that's the one that sort of breaks it open. They're just creating a bit of a gap in the middle here. It's just who's going to take that kick and get in there. Down the line it goes, Georgiades. Who's going to knock this out? Ollie Wines. And they'll reset for a stoppage on centre wing out of side.
It's always hard to get what you want, particularly in internal trials, because the opposition knows exactly what you're trying to do. So anytime you can get it, but I think there's some really positive signs from individuals out there today, and I know Ditz is really excited by Sin.
Yeah, for sure. He's been the one for me. Obviously, Power Pepper's played really well, probably the best out there. But of that young brigade that you want to see something from, Sin's been very, very good. Burton looks fantastic. Kicks high to half forward. Ollie Wines has a couple to beat. Cleary too tall over the top.
McEntee.
Yeah, coming through McEntee. We saw a bit of him last year. Finlayson also has looked impressive. Goes goalward, and he's missed this time. Gee, he's done some good things, Finlayson, though. He will be a great addition to the forward line for Port Adelaide this year.
He's just another threat in front of goals, and we know that the two prelims, we probably haven't been able to kick the scores that we wanted to in them, so it gives us another threat in the forward half.
Too true. So Lee going to bring the ball back into play. Takes his time and gets some meterage. Lockie Jones in front, just make sure he kills it, out of bounds. For a reset. I can remember playing an internal trial, and like you said, Tommy, when you're young and enthusiastic, it's great to play against the senior players, and stood Ivan Eckerman.
Ooh.
I kicked the goal, and the other defenders had a go at him, and he just laughed. And then the ball came down, and I kicked another one, and he looked at me and said, "That'll do, son." I didn't touch it again. I know my place. Good mark by Burn Jones. Centre wing just going backwards, holding on to this. Tommy Jonas, that's really short.
Ooh.
Almost play on, I'd say. Yeah, the umpire agrees.
1 and 1 bounce.
Yes, definitely grassed
There's
it.
a beautiful Ivan Eckerman story in a state game when he cleaned up Lee Matthews, would you believe? And even Lethal Lee got up and said, "What the hell was that?"
He didn't know where it was.
He got hit that hard.
Well, there's a great photo of Becky standing over him in the state game. And Lee Matthews writes about it in his book.
Yeah.
He said, the only time that I felt like I wasn't in control of myself was when this bloke hit me. And he's got the photo in his book. It's a classic.
So there is three-quarter time, another entertaining term here at the Alberton Oval. 25 minutes to go in this intra-club trial. And once again, a big, big thank you to RAA. Rocky, have you got a bit of an approximate score for us?
Yeah, it wasn't a great quarter in front of goals. We've got the white team now 7 goals 3, and I think we've got the black team 9 goals 11. Good luck to you blokes calling.
Yes, thank you. Tom Rockcliffe, there's Chris Dimar to take you away.
Seems you to a handball. I've never seen you handball. Ollie Wines gets the first handball away, gets it back as well. Now gives away to Robbie Gray, kicks Port Adelaide into attack. I know this bloke, it's Alir.
He swapped over.
Yeah, so Alir at half-back.
Don't even have a number.
Oh, gee. Alir kicks towards centre wing. In front was Cleary. Vincentini, well done. Oh, I would have paid it. Gee, I thought he had enough of it.
Ollie Lord.
Ollie Lord, yeah. Terrific effort, though, wasn't it?
Done that about 4 times today, did. But
Yeah.
Have I?
They're similar, though, aren't they? Oh, here he is.
Vincentini.
I'm cute.
Our Lysette. Oh, Ollie Wines with strength. Got rid of Willem Drew
I
Sin.
like that.
My little favourite. He's my new favourite player. Got the handball towards Lysette. Missed the target and goes out of play. Righto, you try, Timmy.
Nice one. Well done, Ditch. You took that well, mate. Hospital handball. Okay, Lysette in front. Slaps it down. Well done, Butters. Good quick hands. Robbie Gray back to Lysette. Back to Butters. Should get it to Martin Frederick. Spins out of trouble. Can do that well. At the feet, but well handled by Bassini. Got it up okay. Yep, good on you.
Who's that without a number?
Yeah, that's
unfair.
Very unfair. They're doing it on purpose, I think, to upset us. As the ball goes inside. That's a good mark. Well, and he's swapped back. So, there you go. I don't know. He's kicked a couple today. One the first, one in the third. And if he finishes this off, well, that's what your half forward you want out of him, is a couple, 2 to 3 goals a game.
Now, Rocky, has he slimmed down, do you think? We know that his contract wasn't a lay-down misere, was it? They made him work hard for it late last year. I get the feeling he's got himself quite fit.
Yeah, he's naturally fit when he goes away and works really hard, and I think he did that. He was up in the Northern Territory and worked really hard on his fitness again.
So he's going to be kicking from about 50, wind at the back. Umpire just going a little bit to the right, and it stays there. So first score behind. Kicked 2-1, I reckon, for the day.
So the Whites bring the ball back into play. Last line of defence, Bonner to Rosie. Rosie taking plenty of time. Gets it out wide. Oh, it's a risky kick. Gee, what a good grab, though. Burn Jones. Gee, if you don't mind. Haven't seen him do that too often, but he flew high. Doesn't really know where to go. Wanted to come across goal, then decides to go along the line, down the line, centre wing. Robbie Gray was under it, didn't take the mark. Ball comes out of the pack. Bassini picked it up, quick handball away in tight. A lot of players around this footy. Robbie Gray had it and lost it. Comes out to Drew. Drew, good hands at Rosie. Rosie goes backwards to half back. A little chip over the top, and the white team retain the footy. But, gee, they've gone sideways, backwards, around in circles. Dersma now from centre wing on the members' side of the ground.
Come in Mackenzie. Mackenzie looking to give off. He's got a Lear peeling back. He's going to go back to Dersma. Stepping inside. Finding yet another target, Ryan Burton. Just chips short. They run on the back. Took him on and got Sin again. That's twice he's been able to do that. I don't think if you got the footy, don't try and accelerate away from him because you're only going to get caught.
Ooh.
And that was young Turner finding that out. Not a great disposal. Finlayson picks it up, gives it off to Ollie Wines, who puts it out into the pocket. Travis Boak coming out of the square, and over the boundary line she goes. He did that once. Was that up at Metricon in 2020 when Trav went down the second half and came out the square?
Came out of the goal square, yeah. He's done it in the summer a few times, and I think one match player, I think he might have kicked 5 or 6 goals last year or the year before, so he's got it in him.
Visentini front spot. Gee, that was a good tap. Finlayson straight down to Butters. Comes back to Sin again. Delivers to the danger spot in front of the goal square. Jonas overran it. Coming through Georgiadis with some dash, and that's a great tackle. That is holding the ball every day of the week. And Dersma will get the free kick.
That's a ripper.
Deep in defence.
Absolute ripper tackle. Put him down nicely so it didn't hurt him. I like it.
Dersma, deep in defence. Oh, gee. Oh, no, Georgiadis, can you believe it? How clever's that? And that is a goal. Robbie Gray, if you don't mind.
Lost his mouth guard in the process. That's a terrific smother.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh, poor old Xavier Dersma just puts his head in his hands, but that was fantastic.
There's a bit of skill involved in that from Georgiadis.
Oh, yeah. Terrific. Unselfishly popped it over the top for a goal to Robbie Gray, his first. First and the fourth. Just sorting themselves out for the reset. Rotating quite a few players throughout. Everybody getting a little bit of game time. Next week, Tommy, going up north.
Yeah, they are. So they've got their first pre-season hit out. They're taking on the Suns, I believe, at 1 o'clock.
I think they'll take 26 players.
Yep. I think you're allowed 26 on, and Ken said they may even take 30 up, and you might be able to swap a couple at half-time or something like that.
Right.
Well, Mead got a really good clearance. He's had a fair bit of footy today. I don't think there's any problems with the way he's going, and Sin the same. As they work it up towards out of bounds on the full, didn't quite hit that target. Going to be Riley Bonner. You're dead right, they've really mixed and matched the teams up now. Going short to Darcy Byrne-Jones, he'll get it back in the old 1-2. Running now, this is the target they want to hit. Up goes Ollie Lord, and counted as a mark, yeah. So, it's been okay today, I've liked the way he's coming along. Stabbed it inside, but missed the target. Todd Marshall a little slow to get rid of that. Probably lucky to not be pinned holding the ball. It'll be a stoppage at left half forward.
The wind must certainly be blowing to the right of screen because Black's gone that way both quarters in the second half.
Doing the ruck work, Visentini, Drew, now Rosie. Rosie at the back of the pack. Jones will end up with it. Gives to Bonner. Bonner delivers to half forward. There was a hand in there. Gee, Marshall doing well. It's centre half back at the moment.
Too high.
No, Georgiadis, I think it is. Really? It is Georgiadis. And yeah, it's been paid too high. So free kick here.
Skinner.
For the white side, for Skinner.
No, Skinner gave the free kick away.
Yeah, correct. Kirk, is it?
It is Kirk, you're right. Who kicked the first goal of the game, didn't he, for the white team?
Correct.
So Kirk on his way in. About 30 35 metres out.
Ooh,
Low drop
that's
punt,
a good
and he
kick.
drills it. Well done.
That's a great
Couple
kick.
of goals to young Kirk here this afternoon. And once again, a big thank you to RAA for bringing us this, and you can see RAA in the background there as well, bringing us this intra-club trial, wherever you're watching us right around the world.
That's correct. This is a global presentation. Prestige worldwide. As they work their way back into the centre.
You asked a question before, Timmy. There's certainly now you've had enough as an older player. You're ready to go have a shower and a cold Coke Zero and water after the game now.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? When you play an opposition, though, everything sort of spices up a little bit, doesn't it?
That's right.
Is it the best 26 next week, do you think? Because, again, you talk about this mix between the old and the new, but let's say, for example, you're Robbie Gray, and they might think, oh, I'll rest him, but then he actually needs game time as well, though, doesn't he? So it's actually quite difficult to know which 26 to take. I mean, I'd be taking your best because you want these blokes fit for round one.
I think Ken's shown in the past that he'll always play his best team, so I'd imagine they'll take 26. I think you're allowed 26 on the field and swap 4 at half-time.
So that's Mead into Lord. Both of these lads have been good today in the trial. Like what I've seen there now, there's a free kick being paid. Just a bit of frustration down there, I think.
I reckon you'd see Robbie and maybe Travis Boak play a half next week and then go shower up at half-time and they might bring on another 4 that they want to expose some game time to.
Tom Rockcliffe, special comments. Chris Dittmar joining Moir, Tim Geneva. That ball goes out. That's going to be a free kick turnover. And Tom Jonas swapping teams as well. He'll take the free kick. I think you're right, Tommy, that they put the defence up against the forwards.
Yep.
See how we go with the one-on-ones. So Lockie Jones with football in hand. Just a high kick. Who's going to be underneath this? Everybody. Out of bounds she goes. In front of the bowling green will be thrown in. So the preparation's definitely changed from what was, many a time the NAB Cups and the Wizard Cups and all the rest of it that had several games in it, to almost getting back to the 70s and 80s of 2 trial games and off you go.
Yeah, well, when I first started, you were still the pre-season competition, so you'd actually play for the cup. I think it might have been a Wizard Cup or a NAB Cup there at some point. And now it's sort of just a community series, and it's great. You take the game out to regional areas in the past. It may be a little bit different this year, COVID affected, but it is a great thing to take the footy out to those community areas.
McEntee takes a good mark. Ollie Wines to Sin. Sin's had plenty of the ball. This one wobbles off the side of his boot. Goes towards the left forward pocket. Georgiades keeps it alive. Goes after a kick. Had a hand in a very clever goal moments ago. This one, good work. Motlop is really sharp, I reckon. But this time there's a whistle. He's coughed it up. But gee, he's done some good things today. Taking a couple of good marks. There it was. He conceded the behind at one stage.
Yep, spot on, Ditz. I reckon Georgiades might have been too unselfish then, Chris. What do you reckon, Tom? Should have had a snap?
Yeah, he should have knocked it over. It was a good block from Sam Powell-Pepper as well. He took Tommy Jonas out and gave him that time and space that he needed.
Fair call. Ryan Burton it is with footy in hand. Just a little dink. Oh, nearly not the distance, but gets it back in the 1-2. Now deciding what to do with it. Going long. Oh, dear. That's a 1-on-3, but spills free. Butters. The kick half smothered. This allows Lord to pick it up and give. Like I said, I've been impressed with him today. Drew poking it out. I've seen him. Good effort to get there. But, Robbie Gray just tapped it out of his hands last minute and allowed a turnover for the black team.
As they work their way along centre wing. Gee, not a good effort this time though. Off the side of the left boot, out of play. So it'll be Lord to bring the ball back into play. Brings it inboard. Ryan Burton goes long. Nice kick into a stiff breeze, but picks out an opposition player in Cleary. Cleary, quick clearing kick. Marshall working hard. Long way up from centre half forward. Doing some Ks. Goes short Butters. Wants to get on with it.
Yeah.
Plays on now. Marshall provides the run through the middle. That's good direct footy. Finlayson, who's been impressive. First time in a sort of a Port Adelaide Guernsey. Kicks it high to centre half forward. Motlop under it, couldn't take the mark. Yeah, it was a good spoil. McKenzie was the spoiler. Keeping it alive, Powell Pepper, nearly the best player out there today.
Yeah, great.
Brings it in, and almost a mark. Was it Drew at ground level? Did well, fought hard to get it back.
That's a throw.
That is a throw.
He's third holding the ball today.
Providing the pressure again.
Well done. Because it was almost a set in volleyball, wasn't it? Sort of was popping it up, ready for the spike. And you can't do that in this game, unfortunately.
You cannot do that. Which I think they're going to be a little bit hotter on this year, the holding the ball rule.
They have talked about that, yeah.
And correct disposal.
Well, this would be his third holding the ball, I reckon he's received.
Yep.
That's a stat fact.
Sin on his way in, straight through the middle, makes no mistake. And Port Adelaide members and fans, get ready to watch this fella. I reckon he'll be in the side. Ken Hinkley gave us a bit of a hint before the game that he liked him, and we've certainly liked what we've seen here this afternoon.
He's been one of the better players on the ground, there's no doubt about that. He's had a hand in a lot of footy through the contest and stoppage area, but he's also, his defensive side of his game has been super impressive. As Timmy touched on before, he's earned himself 3 free kicks from either holding the ball or incorrect disposal.
Yeah, well played, young man. I do like it. You know, many a time, I think in Ken's time, we've seen the high draft pick and you go, how are they going? And he starts them.
Yeah.
He starts them, you know. Ollie Wines, Chad Wingard, I remember Jarman Impey, you know, jumped straight into the side round 1. And, well, if you draft them, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
To play.
Rosie, Butters, Dersma.
Yeah. I could pick that. Those 3 were pretty easy. But some of the others did surprise and did very well on their debuts. Those 3 in particular, that Melbourne game, Tommy.
Yeah, I think I had about 48 that day.
Quiet one.
Yeah,
Jeez.
a bit quiet.
Yeah, just food poisoning?
Westy, I think. Westy might have kicked 6, did he, that day?
I think he had a bag, no doubt about that. So, back in the play here, Willem Drew, who has been an absolute favourite of Port Adelaide fans, just does all the 1%ers so well.
He certainly does, and for him now to take his game to another level, we'd love to see him get more of the footy. He does all that hard and tough and defensive stuff. If he can add that string of finding another 5 or 6 disposals a game, he'll be even better again.
Moore took the mark, gave it to Bonner. Bonner turned it over, unfortunately, at centre-half back. Allows Todd Marshall now with the footy in hand. Just changed his mind and went really short. That's going to have to be play on. Skinner, I think, just poking it out. Passini coming back inboard. That's going to go over the head. Passini, well done.
They're calling him Kernahan.
Yeah, I like it. Sticks, I like it.
Yeah, there's a bit of a look-alike there.
He's got that, yeah. Big sort of, you know, mop hair on the top. I like it.
Burton through the middle. The Whites get it up towards half forward. Good smother. Came from Cleary. The Whites get the ball back. There's been a whistle, and it's going to be a free kick to the White team.
Going back to, is it Neild?
Schofield.
Schofield. Little Taj.
Taj Schofield plays on, gets on with it quickly. Rosie runs through. Rosie goes goalward, and I think he's just offline minor score. So we've certainly seen enough to be excited by here this afternoon. Rocky said earlier, probably 35 players to pick from. I don't know if it's that many, but let's hope it is. But plenty of depth. And I think either end of the ground, defence, they've got options. Forward, they've got options. And certainly midfield, there are many, many, many players. Gee, Lear's gone down behind play here. Something's happened.
Poke in the eye, maybe.
Do you think? He went down before the ball even arrived. Something has happened. As we, at the moment, McEntee, though, kicks it forward. Pretty open forward line. The kick wasn't that flash. It allowed Jones to come through. Fighting hard, Motlop. No, the ball beat him out of play. He's given away the free kick. Lear back on his feet behind play. Looks okay, and I think you're right. It might have been a poke in the eye. But
never pleasant.
No, not at all.
Lucky Jones just takes off. He too's got a turn of speed. Kicks it into a tough breeze. Good high leap at the back there. That might have been Jace Burgoyne.
Yep.
And short kick, it's difficult now. The breeze must have picked up a bit. Rosie will cut away from this pack. Looking to give. Short one it is. Under the pump, though, they've turned it over. Spin out, pirouette. Off the ground it goes. Going back in and doing all the hard work. Trying to pick him up, no number. To the goal square. Going to bounce through, is it? A behind. A behind to the black team. I've kicked 2-2 this quarter, what? 1-1.
In fact, Alira is holding his ear. I can still see him behind play, so
right.
something happened.
That's
Like
okay.
An accidental whack in the ear, I
He
think.
can recover from that. Poking the eye's not fun.
No.
So I think they'll take the ear.
Mackenzie. Ooh, risky
Oh,
kick.
that's... Hey, where's
Butters again.
Butters.
You do those things in an intra-club, Rocky?
I certainly wouldn't, but
Gee.
No, you got to play Masters rules when you...
particularly the 20-minute mark of the
Yeah.
fourth one, maybe in the first quarter.
In Masters, the umpires tell you, now, boys, we all have to go to work Monday. So none of that behaviour.
So the Whites work their way forward. Schofield towards the pocket. Out on a lead. No mark taken by Sermon. And the ball's going to be thrown in that right forward pocket. Who have you liked today, Rocky?
I think Sam Powell-Pepper, his first half was really good. Sin's been good. Finlayson's come in and really impressed. We've seen one of those ground ball pickups. He's super clean. So
Yep.
there's plenty to like though. It's an intra-club, so it's always a hard game to get involved in. But those three have probably been the standouts today.
Yeah, I want to throw a couple at you. I think Todd Marshall at centre half forward has looked different. The way he's attacked the footy.
Clean overhead.
Yeah, clean overhead, some good marks. And I've actually thought Mays, believe it or not, I reckon he's done some handy things. He's, as we all know, he'll have to work hard for his spot in the side, but he's done nothing wrong today, has he?
No, he hasn't. Motlop's
Actually, this
another
bloke
one.
too. Yeah, Motlop.
So Chris Dittmar, if he keeps talking, everybody
Yeah.
will get a mix.
Butters.
Butters goes inside 50 if I Scotty Lycett. Scott Lycett. He's looking to pass off. Big man. He should have a shot.
Oh, look at this.
Now he's just taking the mickey.
Selling candy.
And yeah, then drops a terrible kick to Georgiades. Now it's come loose on the left. Is that Sam Mays?
Yep.
He's kicked it behind, and has worked really hard. So that's another behind of the back team. I think I got him for 2-3. Tom Jonas to bring it back in. Looking at all options. Comes out of the square. Kicks it into the stand.
Yeah.
You just wonder.
He's good for the occasional one of them.
Yeah, he just
DJ.
likes the crowd to get involved. Of course, there's a small crowd of family and friends and life members there, and fairly restricted on what we could do today with both grandstands under construction.
I think there's plenty to be excited by though, Ditz and Timmy. I think we've seen some really good signs, some players that have come into the club, but players that have been here for a long period as well. So,
Tommy, you'd expect another jump in level next week against the Gold Coast, and then another one
it really
in the last game against the Crows.
starts to build up, and then really looking forward to round one. To be honest, I think you get a good scope as Lycett puts that through. I think so. Round one against Brisbane, we're going to really see where Port Adelaide's at. We know that we haven't played that great a footy against Brisbane of late, but to get them round one up there, it's an exciting challenge for us to see where we measure up.
Yeah, good side. Brisbane did well last year. They'll improve too because they're a young outfit.
They won one final last year, Brizzy, didn't they? And that's
Yeah, they did.
that was the one that's been dodging them for a couple of seasons, so they're building. But Scotty Lycett started his career as a big full forward in the under-17s
Did he
here
really?
at Port Adelaide.
Yeah, right.
Come from the EP, of course. Him and Sammy Gray, best mates. And came over and won an under-17s grand final just by standing in the goal square and being 8 foot taller than anybody else.
Back in the middle, thanks to RAA for providing this streaming service for us this afternoon. Finlayson into the ruck, Ollie Wines to Boak. Boak still looking as youthful as ever. Kicks towards half forward. Jonas did well. Coming out, Lycett, the man we were talking about, Alir. Look at him go. Fantastic. After a brilliant first up season for Port Adelaide, but the kick not so great. The wind drags it out of play. And the chance for the black team to go straight back into attack. Short pass to Boak. And look at him go. This is what's impressive. He has run hard all day. You would think the senior players could take it a little bit easy today, but he's really, really worked hard. And this kick goes astray. Cheeseman got in his way. Rosie's hovering outside the pack, but it won't come out. It does now. Rosie just waited in the right position. He knew something.
It's hanging on. Yeah.
As Amon threatened to come away. Free kick will come back to Connor Rosie.
Travis Boak, one of the hardest workers in the AFL, and he has been for a number of years and continues to reap the rewards from that.
Connor Rosie, high kick. Skinner underneath that. Bassini made a contest. Jace Burgoyne, some clever work there. Oh, that was a loose tap on. Not sure about those ones. Poke the ball out. Brian Burton now looking in. Sermon should chip over the top. And Dylan Williams has found space. And go back and have a shot, young man. That's your bread and butter as a forward. Slot and goals. Kicked 6 here one day against Sturt at Alberton last year, and that's when he made his debut the following week. Got a nice taste.
He's got the tricks, and he's had to work on his fitness to do that, and hopefully we see a little bit more of him this year.
Let's have a look at this kick. Tough one into the breeze. Which way will it bend? He's picked it. Yep. Snuck it through.
Well done.
He's a goal kicker. No doubt about that. Dylan Williams. Well played. Good. I think that's his first for the afternoon. Am I right there, Tommy?
Yeah, that's his first.
And hopefully many more to come this season for Dylan Williams. And fairly easy last term. I think I've got it black 3-3 to 2-1 white. So it hasn't been... and they've thrown the teams around a fair bit. You see probably the starting defence up against the starting forwards at the moment in this last term. Of course, the Intraclub brought to us by RAA, our membership partner here at Port Adelaide.
Back in the middle, Alberton Oval. The bounce down now. Finlayson over the top. And there it is, the final siren of the Intraclub trial here at Port Adelaide. Plenty to be excited about. A lot of the senior players getting a lot of the footy, which is great. And Rocky, just a summary from you, a lot of young players showing a heck of a lot of promise as well.
Yeah, there is. We touched on him in that last quarter, and I think the one to most be excited about is Sin.
Yep.
We haven't seen him before, and that's our first real look at him in a match type simulation, and he did really well.